Hi everyone, and welcome to my new series, Holly in the Hebrides. I'm Holly, a freelance illustrator living full-time van life with my husband and our 2 dogs. After 2 years of this lifestyle, you could say we have a bit of a routine going. In the winter, we travel to escape the harsh weather before returning in the spring to settle somewhere for a while. Last year, we were working on the Isle of Mull, and this summer, it's the Isle of Mull, a beautiful Scottish island in the Inner Hebrides. Follow along as we discover what life is like here. Hello everyone, welcome to a new episode. So today is Tuesday. I'm going to be doing a drawing morning. We've come to quite a famous site on Mull. It's near the town of Salon. It's a shipwreck of 3 boats and they're really textured and beautiful and quite dramatic. So yeah, I'm going to do some sketching in my sketchbook. Today is the first day in quite a few days where it's not been raining and there's no threat of rain either. That's very good. Would anyone like to see what I sketched today? My first bit of outdoor sketching in a long time. I don't know, it looks quite different to how I normally do things. But here it is. I drew the boats and there was a lot of different angles going on. And I definitely found it a bit confusing, but I think the deterioration of the boats and like all the different textures gives you a bit of cover for maybe some bad angles and things like that. Put a bit of watercolour on there, a bit of mixed media. Yeah, it's definitely a completely different painting experience to what I normally have. I'm normally just very much in my own little contained world, so I'm not really dealing with the elements or anything. So I think it was really good for me to do, and I'm going to hopefully do a lot more sketching outside during our time on Mull, if it stops raining for long enough, because I think we're headed for a very wet summer across the British Isles, unfortunately. But yeah, I took some photos of some like little cross sections of the boats because the texture was really amazing and all the different shapes like of the rope, like metal eroding and things. I just really liked it. So I'm going to do some little studies of cross sections of texture. I'm going to try a new kombucha that we found in the spa in Salon. Lavender flavoured kombucha. Could be good. Should we try? An ode to Brittany Broski. Yeah, I like that. Maybe like a hint of like toilet cleaner. Sweeter than I was expecting. I do enjoy. I like that bit when she's like the little bits in the bottom. Don't let them touch my Christian lips. Bye. Hello. My bug. Welcome to Wednesday. This morning I have been cleaning the van a lot. There's been lots of chores to do and it's actually taken me until 1 o'clock to do, and then I just made myself a massive salad for lunch, spilled over into 2 bowls, and it was really delicious. Chickpeas and avocado and beetroot and lots of other stuff. And I'm just going to have this watermelon hibiscus drink. And then I better get on with the rest of my day. So this morning Craig had a late start at work, so we went up to Antabar and had a coffee, and it was his first time in there and he really loved it. And yeah, like I said, I've just been cleaning lots today, but that's all done now, and I need to get outside because today's weather looks like the best weather we've had in a couple of weeks now, and I don't know how long it's going to last. Like I was showing, I was working my sketchbook yesterday, and I was yesterday evening whilst Craig made me a really delicious curry. I was working on a cross section of some texture that I photographed on the boats, the shipwrecks. It's way more colourful than I was expecting it to be. I mostly used coloured pencils and a bit of watercolour as well. Here's my sketchbook. It's got one of my frog stickers from my snoot set on it. Such lovely quality, perfect to use on sketchbooks or something like that that gets a lot of use. These are my Tobermory store stickers. They stick these on the paper bag where if you buy like a baked good from their store. We're really obsessed with the Biscoff slices they sell there, so I've just been sticking the stickers every time we get one in here. I thought it'd be a good record, and probably by the end of our time on Mull I'll have a full page. Here's the first page. Tutson plant that I just learnt about. I've been seeing it everywhere on Mull. And some dog rose. And then some more plants I've been learning about. Bugle and pineapple weeds. I would say these two are familiar, very familiar to me already. I really love picking pineapple weed. You find it in a lot of places that get like high traction from humans and stuff. It's just on pathways. It's like a pavement weed, I would say. But yeah, if you pick the leaves and kind of like rub them between your fingertips, or pick the flower, it smells like pineapple. It smells so refreshing and lovely. And this is a spread about some birds that I've been appreciating. We saw our first lapwing. I've never seen one of those before. It was really gorgeous, like kind of iridescent. And then I drew a chaffinch. They are gorgeous, and I love the colour combination of their feathers. And my only regret with this spread is that the chaffinch is obviously huge. In real life, the lapwing is much bigger. It's kind of like oyster catcher size maybe, and the chaffinch is a pretty tiny little garden bird. It's inaccurate. Oh well. And then some water birds. I saw some, I'm not actually sure if it was a red-breasted merganser or a goosander. Both those birds look very similar. It had like a tufty brown head, female bird, and it had one duckling with it, this cute little speckled ball of fluff. But I noticed that the heron in the Tobermory harbour was right by the pair for most of the day, and then the next day I just saw the mum on her own. She didn't have any babies left, so I presume that the Tobermory heron dined out on all of her children, just nibbled all of her children, because I think they do have quite a big brood, but she was left with none in the end. It was quite sad. She didn't really know what to do with herself. I actually have changed my opinion on herons quite a lot recently. I don't like them anymore. I used to think they were like big river nerds, but now that I know that they munch ducklings and chicks, I'm like, ugh. Like, surely just eating fish is enough. Why do you have to eat babies? And then these are eider ducks, and we saw them at Calgary Bay. Sorry if you can hear Quentin like snoring really loudly. When we were walking on the coastal path, I saw a dead shrew, and I think it was a water shrew. It was right by a stream, and it had a white little tummy, but it was dead. I love shrews. I don't really think that this drawing does shrews justice. Like, they're way cuter than this. I need to paint more shrews in this book. And then here's my spread of the Salon shipwrecks. I'm glad I did that. I feel like I like this more now. When I was working on it, I was like, I kind of having a bit of a crisis of confidence, because it's just a bit out of my comfort zone to be observing things from life. I definitely just rely on reference images a lot, and using the internet and creating my own little cocoon inside the van to work, rather than being out in the elements and painting from life. So I need to do more of that. I will do. It was definitely a learning experience, and I want to do more of it during our time on Mull. I think it's an amazing place to do it, and I definitely want to go back and draw these ships again and paint them, because they're a beautiful subject matter. They're so amazing. And yeah, there's the cross section of textures on the shipwrecks as well. Ferns and ropes and rusty metal and lichen. And that's it. That's my sketchbook so far. It's exciting to think by the end of Mull, I hope to be finished with this little book.
I got back to the house. My landlord cut the lines down. I hold my keys too tightly in my pocket. I walk into the room. You're sleeping and it's quiet. I want to know what force holds this together.
Guess who walked all the way to the lighthouse and sat down in perfect conditions, ready to do some outdoor sketching, and realised they forgot their pencil case. I can't believe it. I also forgot to bring water for my paint, so I couldn't even paint. I just took a picture of the scene and maybe I'll draw it in my sketchbook. Quentin and I just got back and I have had a shower, and now I'm just tidying up the van and waiting for Craig to get back from work. I'll show you what we're having for dinner tonight. We have got 2 meatless pasties. They're really nice, like the pastry is like whole grain and like really filling and delicious and buttery, and then it's got vegan steak in there and gravy and onions, I think, and maybe potato. I think we're gonna have it with some tinned potatoes. Tinned potatoes just make things easier in the van. We've also got some kale. Yesterday I took a photo of the scene I was hoping to sketch from life. I think I'm going to try painting that. I'm feeling like doing a bit of painting, not sketching today. I think I'm a little bit like self-conscious and worried about whether this is going to be anything good or not. Scenes and landscapes and things aren't really my thing. They're not my number one thing. I have painted scenes. In fact, my last big publishing commission included landscape paintings. But yeah, I'm not like as confident in them as I am with like painting animals and plants and trees and that kind of thing. Yeah, a little bit of in my stretch zone a little bit. Here's the finished piece that I painted today. Oh.
It's the evening time. With the evening man. Oh, another day, another dollar. Another day, another whiskey. What up?
Whoa.
This is a distiller from the US. He has a bourbon business.
Oh.
So he bought a whole bottle of bourbon just for all the staff, and we got to divvy it all up. So I've got some bourbon.
Do you want to see my painting from
it's
today?
Just alright. Hogwin, did you paint that?
I did this painting.
Are you joking? That looks like Ghibli. Like...
No.
Hang on a minute, Can everyone just shut up while we look at this? Cuz,
What?
why are you not making a mad stack of postcards? That's well good.
Oh, thanks.
What are you going to do when your wife's this talented, huh? What are you going to do?
This morning started off really wet and miserable, and I kind of thought it was going to carry on for the whole day, but it's cleared up a lot. And there's actually no rain forecast now for the rest of the afternoon. It's just after lunch right now, and I've decided to try again with painting the lighthouse, walking out to the lighthouse and doing some observations there. And this time I will remember my pencil case, I will remember my paint palette. I need to get some brushes. These 2 are the large ones that I have, and the details I'll do with pencil. Okay, I'm not very good at speaking today. Feeling a little bit overwhelmed, I would say. Tobermory's very busy. I need to take a bag, make sure I got the things that Quentin needs. He needs his little bowl that I can fill with stream water. What else do you need, Quentin Exley? You know that you're coming, don't you? Ooh. Should we go out on a big walk? Well, I made it to my destination and I've got everything that I need out. On the way here, I went to Tobermory Tackle and Books. It's like a bookshop that has fishing equipment and it also has art supplies. And I got a new paintbrush. I was watching, Quentin, it's not anything for you. I was watching a video, I will leave it linked in the description, describing their travel art supplies, like their kit that they take, and they're really good at painting from life on
location in their sketchbook, so I'm quite inspired by the work they're doing. And they were really raving about using what are these called, like a flat edge, like a squared off paintbrush rather than the, I always use rounded ones to get those kind of like edges, like the edge of the mountain or definitely the edge of the lighthouse. I think using a squared off or angled paintbrush is a good idea.
An aid delivery, a very important aid delivery. UNICEF, we were taking a truck of medical supplies and nutritional supplies for 10,000 children to the north, to Gaza City. There is a very laborious process to go through to get those approvals. Those approvals are given by Israel as the occupying power. They have a legal responsibility. It's very clear there have been many obstructions, denials and restrictions. In May, we got half as many trucks in as April. Okay, it's an important truck. 10,000 children will benefit. This truck for 10,000 children was denied despite every piece of paperwork being done. It had to go back. We will try again, but those children and families right now won't get those medical supplies and nutrition. And I'm watching, and then suddenly a tank is coming down the road. We get back in our vehicles, and the fishermen flee. And a little bit further up on the beach, two fishermen are shot as they run. One is shot in the back, one is shot in the neck. So these fishermen who were trying to get some food for their family, eventually body bags were given by the United Nations to the fishermen, their friends, their family, I don't know.
Got back yesterday after drawing at the Lighthouse. I was in a bit of a rush, I had to get back, make dinner. So I made sausage stew with the vegan Richmond sausages. It was really good. Lentils and veg and stuff in there. And I spent the evening finishing off the study that I did. And I will show you that now. I kind of realised a lot of things as I was working on this page. I think I'm realising how different it is to draw from life or draw a scene in life versus painting when I'm in the van at my desk. I think it's much more revealing to paint and draw on location because you don't have any distractions really other than your environment. What I've noticed is that when I'm at my desk churning out a lot of work, I'm kind of distracting myself. I've always thought that's the best way that I work, is by it helps me like relax to have like an audiobook or YouTube videos or documentaries and that kind of thing on, to just kind of like have my mind halfway somewhere else, and it helps me to not be too like precious and tight and controlling with my work. It helps for me to relax in any way I can. That's what I've always thought. I think actually I was kind of wanting to escape a little bit from myself and my own thoughts, not wanting to have a lot of time where my thoughts are like spiraling in my head. So I choose YouTube and audiobooks and news broadcasts and things like that, like a lot of people do. I think a lot of people fill their heads with media to kind of escape their own noisy brains. Sorry if you can hear Quentin snoring so loudly. Darling. But drawing on location is quite confronting, I would say. There is nothing else to do except study and try to put down what you're seeing. And I'm much more aware of my process. I'm much more aware of when I don't like what I'm doing and when I think I'm struggling and when I don't like the outcome. So it's a little bit uncomfortable. I found that yesterday. I was a little bit like disheartened and uncomfortable and not really enjoying it, especially in the beginning stages. I didn't like what I was doing and it felt really childish and amateur, struggling to like capture the light that kept changing. And yeah, I just found it a little bit like uncomfortable. But I think it's good. I think overall, I think that's a good thing to like notice about yourself and then also challenge yourself with. So I got home yesterday and finished off the double spread. I went over the top of a lot of the paint with coloured pencils, kind of scratchy coloured pencil marks, and I really like that. What was more important with this thing was the process, the confrontation with myself. Yeah, sometimes I just really worry that I'm not a good artist. I'm only good in very small areas that I've become very comfortable in. I really do want to be someone who can draw on location and paint on location. So I think I'm kind of like at the beginning stages of this. It's going to take a lot of practice. You have to paint quickly, whereas I can be quite a slow and cautious painter. Found this nest on the walk yesterday. I think it might be part of a nest because it is absolutely tiny. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not the whole nest, but it's so intricate. It's very delicate. It hasn't got any sturdy sticks in there or anything. It seems like it's just made up of grasses and feathers and horsehair as well. So I've kind of looked up some different bird nests online to try and identify it, and I think maybe it's part of a blue tit's nest. Please feel free to correct me on that. I'm going to make a study of it in my sketchbook. The other thing I'm going to be doing today is reading. I just started a new book after finishing one that I wanted to recommend. Let me show you. So I just finished, last night I finished this one, A Flat Place by Noreen Masood. This is a memoir. It's been nominated for some prizes. I don't really keep up to date with book prizes, but oh, I really loved this book. I thought it was so excellent. The idea of it really appealed to me anyway. So I had like quite high expectations, but I wasn't disappointed like at all. I really thought it was excellently done the whole way through. So basically Noreen is someone who suffers with complex PTSD. She was born in Pakistan, had like a very traumatic childhood. She writes about that, and she writes about how hard it is for her to talk about her childhood because it wasn't one or two traumatic experiences. It was like an undercurrent of constant trauma and never feeling safe, never feeling supported or protected or anything as a child, and also being completely isolated from the rest of the world and from any kind of extended family. And her family eventually escaped to the UK. Yeah, she's basically exploring her love and the solace she finds in flat places, flat landscapes. So she goes to lots of different locations in the UK. She goes to Orford Ness, the Cambridgeshire Fens. She goes to Morecambe Bay, Orkney. She just writes in a really amazing and thoughtful way. She just weaves this story of personal exploration and then like
external exploration in her country. She also makes some really searing commentary of white British society, because this was written, I think, before the pandemic and then during the pandemic. She talks about the weakness of white British identity, how we have these like flimsy nationalist symbols that don't really have any depth to them, and how we don't know ourselves, we don't know our own history. There's so much of British history that we refuse to look at. Sorry, the lighting is so bad. And yeah, I just thought this book was so excellent. It really touched me as well in places. She was like building back a relationship with her mum. Yeah, I just thought it was really well done. Really recommend this book. I'll be thinking about it a lot. It actually taught me a lot about different parts of the UK as well that I didn't know about, and also history. There's like little tidbits of history throughout. And I'm starting a new book today on my Kindle. I'm starting 3 Worlds, Memoirs of an Arab Jew by Avi Shalem, and I've wanted to read this for ages. It sounds so interesting. Avi Shalem is a Jewish man, and he was born in Iraq, and then his family moved to Israel. It says, today the once flourishing Jewish community of Iraq at one time numbered over 130,000 and traced its history back 2,600 years, has all but vanished. Why so? One explanation speaks of the timeless clash between Arab and Jewish civilizations, and a heroic Zionist mission to rescue Eastern Jews from backward nations and unceasing persecution. Avi Shalem tears up this script. His parents had many Muslim friends in Baghdad and no interest in Zionism. As anti-Semitism surged in Iraq, the Zionist underground fanned the flames. Yet when Iraqi Jews fled to Israel, they faced an uncertain future. Their history was rewritten to serve a Zionist narrative. This memoir breathes life into an almost forgotten world, weaving together the personal and the political. 3 Worlds offers a fresh perspective on Arab Jews caught in the crossfire of Zionism and nationalism. So yeah, he's going to talk about growing up in Israel and wanting to assimilate and feeling inferior as someone from an Arab family who speaks Arabic. He wants to speak only Hebrew, and at one point he found himself developing quite right-wing views, I think, and believing in Zionism, and then he goes from wanting a 2-state solution to campaigning for a 1-state solution. I think he's going to discuss nationalism from both sides. I think it's going to be good. I've read the introduction, and it's written really well.
What is this?
He's gorgeous!
Right, I'm getting them ready.
Yeah, Craig's got back from work. We're going to take the dogs out for a little bit. And then we're going to bring them back to the van, and then we're going to a gallery, an exhibition opening tonight at Antabar Art Centre. Glasgow Print Studio are having an exhibition at Antabar, and tonight's the opening night, so we're going to go there, and then after that we might see some music in Tobermory. So we're being social on an evening where I feel really awkward and non-social.
Let the mind relax, let it rest. I'll do all the talking tonight, okay?
Yeah, but that's not helpful for me.
This is my wife, she does an art.
She does an art?
Yeah, there you go, done.
I did do an art.
Did you?
Yeah, I drew the nest. It didn't go very well.
This cute little nest. Have the folk online seen the nest?
No, yeah, I did filmed it earlier.
I'm feeling the nest, if I'm honest.